Yeah, cool. Alive. Let's copy the link, pop it in the Discord. So the first few seconds of every stream is just me faffing around a little bit. Let's tag everyone. Make sure I've got the window open. Hello, Storm Fury. Let me just pull up my list of changes here, because doubtless people will want to know what's different in this one. So now on to 0.17.4. Not sure if I should bump that to 0.18. When did I release the last update? Let me just check. The last update was July 16th at 10:43 p.m. Okay, so let me just pull this up here and show what's new. So when I say tornado tracks fixed, so what was happening was you'd release chemicals into the tornado, it would be like Mach 0.7, Mach 0.8, but the wind trail wouldn't actually, like the wind speed, like fall off, wouldn't actually show what the true wind speed was based on the tornado track. Like you'd have like the blue outline and it would say you in F1 speeds, and then your wind speed would be saying like 150 miles an hour. So I fixed some issues with that. Um, there were also some issues with the controller. So you might have noticed when you're like buying upgrades, once the button becomes disabled, it was going all the way to the top left button on the UI again, and you'd have to then scroll all the way back to where you needed to be, and it was really tedious. So now what I make it do is whenever you purchase an upgrade, if the button becomes disabled, it moves to the next closest button. Also, it keeps the last button you had highlighted on the UI, on the minimap, highlighted. So, for example, you can pre-select now, you can highlight the quick deploy, minimize the minimap. So when you expand it again, that button's still highlighted. You can press A and it'll do a quick deploy. Just some like convenience functions. Hello, I can see my dad's in here. You can probably figure it out from the comparing my first name to the other uh, to the people in the chat and my last name. Um, it differs by one. Um, Hello, Real Smurf, and Starch Vulgasaur, and Sunny Bates, and Hecker Boy. Oh, this chat's coming to life really quickly today. Yeah, there's roaring. So, yeah, I really liked that suggestion on the last stream. So now the tornado emits a roaring sound. And it's 3D as well. So I recommend you wear headphones. So as you pan the camera, if it's behind you, it'll sound like it's coming from behind you. If it's to your left, it'll come more through your left headphone than your right. And it definitely adds to the intensity of the game. Have I been fixing the shoe bricks yet? Not yet. I still need to decide how to handle that. Uh, but yeah, going back to what's changed, yeah, controllers fixed, so it's a lot more convenient to use. Yeah, roaring with awesomeness. I couldn't think of a sensible one for that, but yeah, I had to dial it down a bit though because it sounded like it was much closer than it actually was. So we'll test it, make sure the sound's a bit better. Also, what I did as well is I turned the rain sound right now. I realized that it was quite incessant, that just constantly like constant white noise, like that can't be good for people's hearing. So I dialed the volume from that from 70% down to 30%. Then took the thunder sound, which was 30%, bumped that down to 15%. So now the roar is more noticeable as well. Plus, it's just not as annoying. Also, when a hunt starts, it doesn't beep all the way through the hunt. You get like 8 beeps to indicate the hunt started to get your attention, and then that's it. Um, then I added some convenience things. So, Real Smurf, I think you'll be happy with this one. It remembers your last settings. So if you disabled hunts on your last chase, uh, if you exit out the game and load the game again, it'll keep them disabled. If you chose hard mode, it'll keep hard mode. In sandbox mode, if you change the hunt settings, it remembers them. So it'll all be in there. All your settings will be remembered. Um, Also, toggling trail overlays as well. So in easy mode in career, or in sandbox mode, you can toggle the trails on and off so you can see what's actually going on the map there. So let me try and catch up with the chat. Um, me to tune down the tornadoes a bit because a small one from far away is making me go above the clouds. I'm glad you're happy about those. So yeah, I'll be yeah. So we'll test it out. Yeah, I have noticed certain tornadoes still feel a bit overpowered from a distance, so I'll check on that. I am wearing my headset with one headphone off. Uh, I am on daddy duty tonight. Usually, my wife's brilliant, so if I'm doing a stream, if there's any issues after bedtime, like she'll go sort them out so it doesn't interrupt the stream. However, she's out tonight, so I went and checked on them both before. They're both completely out for the count, completely zonked out, and had a really fun day. And my parents actually, so they're really tired. But if anything happens, if sometimes they feel sick or they have a scary dream or whatever, I may need to pause the stream temporarily to go settle them down. So just pre-warning there before we'll go into it. We may need to interrupt it. So let's use an easy difficulty so we can check the toggling. Hunts, should we have those enabled? Yeah, I think it makes for some fun chases. Let's do top 75% of chases because this is a pretty low-end day. So let's see what we can actually do with the chemicals. See if we can use the chemicals to turn it around. Got to go? Okay, bye-bye. DJ the Zoom Boom. Right, let's chase. Right, I'm going to use controller for this. So, yeah, there's the button. It's enabled by default. So let's just keep it that way for now until the trails actually become an inconvenience. But look, it'll remember. So say I want to do a quick deploy. What would happen before is you'd minimize the map, and then when you maximize it again, it would have selected the cape again. It goes back to the first button. So now that's not the case. Also, I fixed this bug. People were saying, oh, sometimes the game's frozen and you can't use the mouse. What happens is what used to happen, you'd open the nav map, you'd then press escape to get to this screen. Then when you exit out of it, it would be minimized in the bottom corner, but it would be rendered incorrectly and everything would be frozen. That's fixed now as well. So yeah, all these little pesky things. I haven't done a stream the last couple of days, but just all these little pesky things which are annoying me and lower the quality of the gameplay experience I've just been trying to fix. Let's put velocity on instead. I think this is a rubbish place to be. Look, we've got no options. Let's head east and let's go around this way, and then let's just wait over here. Did I say east? South? Which way do we need to go? Which way am I going here? Yeah, there we go. I still need to update that circle to be a triangle to show which way you're pointing. Also, I've played Funnel Runners. I didn't do it on stream because I was just learning how to play it. It's a good game. It's not really my type of game. It's like this. I do this with some music. There's like a musician, like singer-songwriter. My wife really likes. They call Laura Marling. I can appreciate her music's really good. I think her music's really good. She's an amazing artist. It just doesn't do anything for me when I listen to it. And it's no reflection on her music. Her music's brilliant. It's just certain things I can appreciate are really good. They're just not for me. And it's kind of like that with Funnel Runners. I spent a lot of time just trying to get into a game. So it doesn't seem like there's a way to do private games. So like I join a game and people are obviously trying to set up a game with like their friends. So then I just get kicked out straight away. And then other games you'd wait around in the lobby for ages and then nobody would join and then the host would quit. So it took me like half an hour before I even got into a game. And then a tornado came and somebody opened the door of the truck. Within like the first couple of minutes I got sucked out the truck. So then I had to go through the whole lobby thing again. And I finally got to play one game. And yeah, it was pretty fun. I just feel like it's a looking for stuff game. It's like you're looking for things and there happens to be some tornadoes there. It's really just a scavenger hunt, like a randomized scavenger hunt. And I don't know, I guess if you've got a tight-knit group of friends, it's probably a lot more fun, but playing with random strangers on the internet, I just didn't particularly enjoy it. Well, smaller ones don't have... So the way I've done it, let me remember this. At F2 strength, the volume of the roaring sound will be about 50% of max, and you'll only be able to hear them up to about 800 meters away. and it goes up to a maximum range of, so it'll trail off to 0 at 5 miles, and with an F5. Right, are we under the wall cloud? Almost. Which way is it moving? I'm going to use the mouse method. I know it's not very reliable. I'm trying to determine, are we behind the storm or not? Because if we're behind it, we'll have a much more difficult chase than if we're in front of it. How did Funnel Runners run? Yeah, so it's good. Maybe, I don't know, I've been struggling a bit with motivation and stuff lately. Mood's generally been a bit lower, energy levels have been lower. It may just be partly to do with that. I just don't necessarily have the energy and mental capacity, not the mental capacity, but like the mental energy to like learn a whole new game and go through the whole scavenging mechanic. Maybe that's the case. Like, it is a good game, and I hope the developers have a lot of success, and it looks like they are. But I just found it repetitive by even like the second playthrough. One thing I'm thinking as well, instead of wind, we don't want to intensify it really quickly first. Let's see if we can widen the tornado first. At least then visually it looks cool to look at without making it impossible to intercept. Right, have we got velocity on? It is a pretty bland forecast, so Cape, it's a pretty low-end Cape there. Helicity. There's helicity everywhere. There's some Cape and some helicity everywhere, so something should happen. This may just be a bit slower paced for now. Oh, it's intensifying, look at that. One thing I'm thinking is if it heads north this... Actually, no, we've got... Let's see, if we need to be up this side, because this bit's a bit disconnected from the rest. If we go up here, there's not many options to get onto this bit. But I guess we could always go east and connect and come back around. Found a bug that's the end of the map while it's still loading. Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah, I need to essentially just... The logic's quite straightforward. You just disable... Just make the start chase button disabled until the map's finished generating. It's like a small fix, I just haven't got around to doing it yet. Yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge with games programming, is managing the state of everything. Because you have a lot of systems, so like you've got UI which can be in different states. So like I'm in the minimized state, the maximized state. I've got a page with other buttons which can be in other states. I can have this menu which is another state. I can be outside, so the D-pad has effects while I'm in the external camera, but doesn't do anything on the internal camera. I can be in... Oh, we've got our first touchdown by the looks of it. I can be in VHS mode, where... So like you can end up with this explosion of states where there's lots of different components and systems in the game which can be in lots of different states at once, and yeah, you can end up with some weird glitches like that before, where you can maximize the map and then go into the main menu. Oh, looks like some towns are going to get hit. Let's try and warn them. So on the RTX 3050, I think if you have a dedicated graphics card, you should be able to play it. You may not be able to play it on max settings. You may need to dial the graphics settings down a bit, but you should still definitely be able to play it. So for comparison, I play this on a laptop right now. It's an RTX, I think it's a 4070, I forget. 16 gig of RAM, i9 processor. There's run funnel runners, no issue really. Looks like it's going to rope out again. Maybe we should intensify it first before we widen it. Now let's widen it first. See if we make a gigantic F1 or F2. Then we'll race it to the next town as well, because it looks like it's moving north. One feature I was thinking of, but I just don't think it would actually be practical, is have like an insane realism mode where it like generates a PDF of the map that you print out first, and then you navigate using that. Maybe I'll put some like GPS coordinates or map coordinates on, so you at least know which section you're in. And so if we printed it out like all facts and printing artifacts and things, so it looks like one of those old style paper maps. That'd be quite fun. Or it could just be one of those things that seems cool until you try it, then you realise it's massively inconvenient and never try it again. The row when the tornado begins to hunt. Is that the MGM lion row? No, it's not. I'm very careful to avoid any sort of copyright or trademark or intellectual property issues. What I did is I bought a subscription. There's a service which lets you essentially you pay each month and you can download as many licensed sound effects as you want, like they license them specifically to your project. So what I did was buy just a generic lion's roar sound from that service, and then I just slowed it down a bit and pitch shifted it a bit, because that's pretty much what they did for it anyway. I'm gonna move away from the siren. That's just with my headphones on. It's like vibrating my eardrum. So, are there any more towns we need to worry about? If it's heading north, not for now. Well, let's see if we can get some chemicals into this thing. So we'll do that thing. We can highlight quick deploy so it's ready. That debris cloud's way too big, I think. Right, oops. Guys, can we ride this out? I'm not sure if we can. Let's err on the side of caution. We'll do a quick deploy. Oops, accidentally drove into it a little bit. All I can see is the dust right now. Ooh, that's turned right as it hit the probe. See, people will be saying, oh, he scripted it to do that. But honestly haven't. It's purely random. Just unfortunate things like that happen. Oh, can you hear the roll? Let's get over here a bit. Let's listen to the roll. Can you hear it? Yeah, it's because it's a bit too big. I think I need to dial it down a bit. But look, if you listen with headphones, if I rotate, you'll hear it more to the left, and then if I'm facing away from it, it gets loud again, and now it's in the right headphone. So a quick recall, let's go for another intercept. Oh yeah, probably should add an option for controller vibrations, maybe something like disabled, then like reduced, so like you still have them, but like the strength of them is reduced, and then normal, just like enabled. Okay, how close did we get to actually releasing the chemicals there? 49. As you guys, it is 49 out of 100. We could probably just save some time and just make that say 49%. Like save some space on that page. And if we can, let's try and get some wind chemicals in there. Let's do a manual deployment. They're always fun. Yeah, it looks like it's going to hit. Let's take this road to the north. Okay, 80% of the way there. I think we need to knock this fence down. I don't want to have to drive through the woodlands to do it. Okay, plus 24% tornado size. Okay, let's switch it now, because we know it responds well to tornado size. Let's switch the pressure to wind speed, just if we increase the wind speed a bit, since this is a bit of a weak day in terms of the forecast. We can get this thing, we can get the next tornadoes which spawn a bit stronger, so we don't have to wait as long for them to intensify. Actually, I may just need to make my escape up through here. Quick recall, quick deploy. Good, the row's terrifying, that's what I'm going for. It was just like, oh, who's left the tumble dryer on? Or, like, why has the car got something loose on it? It sounds a bit rumbly. Like, that's not what I'm going for. I'm looking for something that's absolutely terrifying. It makes you feel intimidated that it's getting close to you. Of course, I don't want to make a game so scary that nobody wants to play it. How close are we to intensifying it? 70%? Okay, I didn't think much in terms of an escape route. We may just have to do some tree dodging in a second. How's the probe doing? 49, is it in the middle of it or is it past now? Oh no, it's in the middle. What do I do? I do need to make the trees respond to the wind, don't I? I'm going to have once this tornado's roped out, I'm going to have a quick vote in the chat. You know, I'm not going to do the cheaty thing of... Whoa, that responded really strong. You can see the blue chemicals there in the background. So it sticks to the colour scheme here, so blue chemicals for wind speed, yellowish chemicals for pressure, red for temperature, and then I think it's green for dew point. Oh, it's gone F5 and we can't really get out of the way. Let's put them both on then. See if we can release both chemicals. I think we're getting better. Let's do a quick recall actually. I think we're getting better data here. 127 mile an hour winds where we're sat right here. getting a bit tangled in some trees here. Speaking of tangled in trees, album recommendation, Tanglewood Tree by Dave Carter and Tracy Grammer. Excellent album. So what's it like now when we can hear this roar? Stronger toners increase the chemical meter more. You've just given me an idea. You've just given me an idea. One thing I'm worried about, like, you can already create like what I call runaway feedback loops, where a stronger tornado gets more chemicals, which creates a stronger tornado. So what I'm thinking, I have to think about this, so I'm not going to rush to implement it. Right now it's just the number of samples, so you need to get 100 samples before the chemicals are released. But what if an F5 sample increments the progress by 5%, an F3 3%, an F1 1%? What if we could try it at a dash cam view? Huh. Yeah, I'm liking these suggestions. Yeah, probably could. Called the Randy Stubblefield view. If you don't get a reference, it's Randy Stubblefield's the sheriff who was videoing the Pampa, Texas tornado in 1995 with, I guess, not really a dash cam, but literally like a camcorder on his dashboard. So I'm going to do a quick vote. How do I do this again? Ask question. What to do now? So option 1 will be keep playing. Option 2 is to add wind effects to trees, and then option 3 will be stronger tornadoes equals faster chemicals. I'd say faster chemical. Must contain between 1 and 35 characters. Stronger tornadoes, faster chemicals. Okay, everybody votes now. We'll watch this rope out while the poll's going, and we'll see what we're going to do. So, so how many chemicals been? So we've only done 2 chemical releases so far this chase. What I could do is do the same thing Storm Chasers does. Instead of a radio, you just have a folder you can stick some MP3 or audio files in, and then it'll automatically just cycle between them. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone's wanting me to keep playing. It looks like do a little bit of a dev stream. So let's at least analyze the data we got. Not a lot, but it's every little bit of money helps. Upgrades, probe upgrades, radar upgrades. I definitely think we definitely need to increase the quality. There we go. Let's look at this. It's probably not going to be that noticeable. Oh, we haven't tested turning the tornado tracks on enough. There we go. Toggled off, toggled on, toggled off, toggled on, off, on, off, on. This is like that thing where Homer Simpson gets punched in the face. He's like on the border between two countries. Okay, he's like hopping between them, and then what? Like the soldiers or the guards that just punches him in the face. Yeah, so it looks even split. It looks like we're not going to keep playing, and wind effects and stronger tornadoes and faster chemicals are both. So let's just stop playing and then just do both of those now. Uh, so this is what it looks like behind the scenes. What I need to do is, let's see, a simple road network. That's like my go-to bit. So there's the 18 different tiles we can have. So we've got blank forest and forest straight. It doesn't really matter which one we use. I just need to see what shader. Oh, with blank forest. Then we'll go here. Then we get the prefab. Prefab's here. This will look weird, so I can drag it into the menu scene. This is what I do sometimes just to check how something looks. So it just renders over the main menu. But the point is, I need to convert these trees. I've got to convert the trees so that they respond to wind. So trees, we've got three. We've got baked 1, baked 2, and baked 3. Oh, that's handy. They're all next to each other. So is it a vegetation engine prefab already? Wait a sec. If it is, this has just got 10 times faster. So if it is literally just TVE, is it boxophobic? Yeah, okay. I just need to remember to add the option so it actually reacts to wind. So now I just need to remember how to do that. It's one of these somewhere. This may take a few iterations to get right. We'll have to play in the editor a few times to get this right. Motion, here we go. What I could do actually, we know the cone reacts to wind, so let me just save the name of this, just so I can search for it again. And we know it's 1, 2, and 3, so that's easy to remember. So it's 1 and then also 2 and 3 in case I forget that between now and then. Right, then we need to find, let's get the, what does that call it? Cone full. Blank cone. Then we'll go blank cone. Then what we could do is just go here. Custom cone prefab. Let's go here, then here. You see how I forget to do things like this stuff nested everywhere. So we need to go all the way down to this. Motion primary. So what actually gets motion secondary intensity? Use flow elements. Yeah, so we need to select that. Then I think what I'll do, I'll screenshot this and put it in Paint. Just so I've got that as reference. Now we'll go back, and now we've got this one. So go to blank forest, and oh no, we don't need to do that whole thing again. I saved the name over here, so let's just find that. So go inside the prefab, and then since this is all using the same material, right? We need to go all the way down to the bottom, use floor elements, and then I was going to compare this. Oh, sorry, I can't see the chat while I'm doing this, but it'll be worthwhile. It'll pay off. Just for a few minutes. Vertex G, vertex A, vertex G, vertex B. Oh, we use floor elements. No, it's not floor elements. Is it? We don't want it to bend when you drive over it. We want it to react to wind. Am I looking at the wrong thing? emissive, dithering, wetness, overlay, dryness, cutout, tinting, variation, gradient, detail. Now, I'm pretty sure that it is that. Use flow elements. I'm pretty sure it's that one. 100.05, 0, 0.5, 0.8, 0.5, 5. Motion primary interaction. So what's that? Like I said, 3.69. Okay, we're going to try these. This may end up looking bizarre. It's one of those things it takes a bit of experimentation to get right. 0.20, 0.5, 0.2, 0.55 motion second interaction, 0.92. This may mean that the trees bend when you drive at them, so I may need to reset those. What I just need is them to react to wind. 0.21, 50, 10. Okay, let's just do it to the one tree for now, because there's no point repeating this process 3 times. I'll bring the chat back up. Okay, I'll end the poll now. Heavy chemical gets released into the atmosphere. There should be a chance it will be a super chemical which has special effects on tornadoes that you can decide on. Yeah, I've been thinking of mixing it up a bit with just certain reactions. Yeah, thanks for suggesting that, because it means you're thinking along, at least it's a sign I'm thinking along the same side, same direction as you. Right, let me get a tornado volume. Just drag it into here. It should have a wind element on it. Tornado wind element. There it is. Oops, I shouldn't be moving that. I should be moving this. You know, I'm not sure they'll actually react. I think it might be easy at this point just to test in the game. So I shouldn't have to save that prefab because I'm changing the material properties. So what we'll do sandbox mode. I'll just make it. I'll make it just a forest thing. So I'll put like the forested roads in the center, so we're guaranteed to spawn in one. And I'll set the speed to max. We'll just see if it. We want to check 2 things. We want to check that it responds to the wind. Also want to make sure it doesn't bend when you drive over them. So let's just center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this guarantees we'll spawn in a forest. So we're just gonna go bang, 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 bang. Next. It's handy it remembers these now. It's just these aren't as important. We'll keep hunts disabled. Actually, we might want them enabled so we can force it through the forest. Let's just set these to ultra. Alright, so what I want to make sure is that trees don't start bending. Which tree was it which had that? Oh, look, I think we can see, look, something was just bending before when we drove over here. Yeah, no, we don't want that. I guess we can edit it live and it should keep our settings. So if I paste prefab back in here, no, we don't want exit prefab mode. It's in prefab mode. What I could find out is what the grass does. Now it's saying it doesn't use flow elements. This may be a bit trickier than I originally thought. The other question is, does it... So we know it responds to the truck when we don't want it to, but does it respond to wind? I may be enabling the wrong thing here. We've got a tornado over there. Okay, I can hear wind. I can hear roaring. Oh, it's over there. Right, I want to purposefully bring... Is this tornado already coming this way? So what I can do is I can go tornado entity. Why is this not showing anything? Where's tornado entity? Tornado volume, tornado entity. And then position, and we want to add to the y-axis. Yeah, we want to bring it over here. So I want to see, do the trees react? Like, the grass is definitely getting wavier over there. Let's have a look at the, where's the tornado volume? I remember how to do this. Like I set it up once months ago, and now it's been a while. So I want to look at the wind element, and we want to make it, is it always visible? Okay, so yeah, there's the, that's the area that it'll affect vegetation in. Oh, yeah, so look, the tree is bending in the wind, look. Not exactly as I'd like. Right, some of these trees are just getting uprooted. Because look, the grass is moving a lot more. Maybe I need to see what I did with the grass. So look, these trees are reacting. Is it just the leaves though? Maybe we do need to change it. Let's see what I did for the grass. So let's go, just have in forest, because I don't have many. Blank forest. Right, what's the grass? Because the grass is reacting. Meadow detailed. Right, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Meadow detailed 1. Here we go. Right, what did we do with this one to make it react to wind? Because that uses flow elements also, but probably uses slightly different values. Let's screenshot this, and I'll drop it in Paint, and let's see if I can figure out. I probably want to use a flow mask as well, because I want it to react to the wind, but not to the truck. So if we go back to the prefab baked poplar, let's figure this out. When you do it to each of the LODs, so the idea of LODing is as you move further away, it switches out to lower quality models, just like a performance thing. There's no point rendering a tree at maximum quality if it's miles away and only a few pixels big. So it's just an optimization. Yeah, it's like it hasn't remembered it. Yeah, we're going to use flow elements. So 100.05, 0.5. Ah, okay. Motion primary pivots. That's set to 0 for grass. Motion primary phase is also 0. Motion primary, is that tilling or tiling? 5, 5. Motion primary interaction. Yeah, I'm not sure what these need to be. 0.2, 0, 0.5, 0.2, 0, 5, 5, 1. What do these do? It would be helpful if it had like a pop-up saying what these actually do. What's this null reference exception? Ah, it's just some GUI thing. Hmm. How can I make the trees? It'd be helpful if I just had like a test scene. I do that. I've got one. It's called like terrain operations. Here we go. And we've already got a tornado wind element that we can play with as well. Where's that? Okay, perfect. Right. Let's get the poplar in here. We're just going to drag it in here. Okay. That is like the reaction would want. So the question is, for some of these settings, so we need to do it for LOD1. Do we need to do it for LOD1 as well? Does it remember? It looks like it keeps the settings because this is a material setting. LOD2, does it keep the setting as well? Yeah, what about LOD3? Does it save it? Just what I don't want is for it to react to the vehicle one. So you see as the tornado gets closer, for some reason, so the leaves react to it, but the actual like trunk doesn't, which doesn't look right. Which would actually renders that. So that's the LOD3 one, LOD2, LOD1, and LOD0. I mean, that's the one which actually has the collider. So, why doesn't the branch, why don't branches do that? What, is it static? Then I'm not going to touch that because that can change quite a lot of things. Do we need to use flow elements for the wind to actually have an effect? Does that change it for LOD1 and LOD0 now? Does that change anything? Does it still react? What I may need to do is, since I've changed some things, let's just drag it back here. Oh no, so yeah, so flow elements is what it must be the what do you call it? What reacts to the truck. This primary interaction, yeah, keep this primary and secondary interaction. That so it doesn't flatten down. 'Cause it's not that which is determining how strong it's reacting. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what did we change again? Motion second pivots, was it? So if I move further away, does the Okay, let's just do the same thing for right, want that one. But we want to like go to the actual folder it's in. Well, let's just search prefab baked to Poplar. So what is it I need to change again? So it wasn't the use of actually this will be a good test for it actually. Let's put this in here. That seems to already react to the wind. Has this also changed the material settings for this? Noise and flow elements. But they seem to react anyway. Motion leaves intensity. What do you mean by that? Motion second intensity? Is that the one which affects the trunk? Not really. Motion primary intensity? Ah, okay. So we need to match the primary intensity to the secondary intensity. Okay, so say like 0.5, 0.5. Yeah, it's been annoying that those things aren't synchronized. Do you need these motion second pivots or not? Could be to do with the vertex as well. What if I set this to vertex G2? No, keep this as, what was it, vertex A? What if I set this to vertex A as well? No, vertex G. Just it doesn't look right having the leaves and that. They need to use essentially the same noise mask. Motion primary intensity 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0, 0, 550. See, these are the annoying sorts of things you got to deal with when developing. Am I chasing F6s today? Hopefully. So I'm trying to figure out how to get these wind masks working with the trees properly, but the leaves are moving way more than that. So if I set this to 0, motion primary intensity 0, motion second intensity 0, motion primary noise, motion second noise. This doesn't seem to be updating anything. Do I need to like disable it and re-enable it or something? Because it doesn't seem that these settings don't seem to be having any effect either. What happens if I enter play mode? Right, so they're still reacting to it. Got motion intensity. See, none of these sliders seem to be making any difference. Motion primary intensity, motion delay, motion primary speed. Like I've set all these to 0, but they're still just... It's not making any difference. Unless one thing I may need to do is if I go to this, I may need to disable nature renderer. Enable it again. Oh, is it something to do with this flow elements thing? Enable, disable? Because now it shouldn't actually be reacting to anything, but it obviously is. Unless I need to reload every time I change one of the settings. Yeah, the vegetation stuff in this game, really, like the assets I'm using are just a pain to use, as you can see. Like they're not intuitive, not particularly reliable either. What if we do something different? What if we paint them onto... We're going to do something different here. Bend 1. Right, we need to exit play mode. Right, so remove that. Bend 1. We're going to paint them onto the terrain. So paint trees. Add to register new object. Yeah, just apply. Right, trees, we're going to paint them, and we're going to paint them there. There we go. Next, we can go to tornado wind element. Let's just scale that up. So why are they reacting to it, is the question. And how come they're not reacting like that in the game? So that's for that flow interaction. Be useful to know if it was actually updating things. What if I just do something ridiculous? What if I do something like this? And then just, I want to say, is it actually updating anything? Because look, it's not actually updating any of the rendering settings in the game. Do I need to do this each time I change something? Yeah, I do. Okay, well okay, so we know we need to do that now, so let's just set that scale back to 1. What? Why are they reacting to the wind now? Because I haven't actually changed anything since the game. Lock probably cannot be overridden by a child. So I don't actually even know what I've changed at this point. But they're supposed to react to wind now? Not main gameplay, sorry, customize your chase. So let's just see, you can see this the vegetation system's a bit crap that I'm using, especially given the price it costs to actually get in the game. Let's do sandbox mode, make it small. That should do for now. We'll spawn in one of those forests. We'll keep all those settings. So I want to see, do these trees start reacting to wind now all of a sudden, even though I haven't actually, as far as I know, changed anything? I guess we're just waiting for the tornado to touch down. I can probably speed things up a bit. Wind speed, let's just... No, that's overridden. Yeah, I can try and add wind speed, but it's going to quickly fade out again. I just need to make sure it's near where we are going to be. So where's the player truck? Over there, okay. So we need to shift it along the Z axis, which will be the Y axis. Yeah, let's bring it a bit closer. Let's see if any of these trees react a bit more strongly to the wind now. We can also visualize the where's tornado entity? We can visualize the wind field as well. So if we go to tornado volume, there it is. Tornado wind element. What's the scale? So it's 0 right now because the tornado doesn't have a wind field. What happens if we just add some scale to it, or is it overridden? Yeah, no, we can't override it just yet. Just waiting for the tornado to touch down. Okay, so now the trees are reacting, but I can't tell what I've actually changed. As far as I can tell, I didn't change anything. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to revert the settings I've done in this. This is why using Git's a good idea. Yeah, I'm not sure what I've done there, but I'm not happy with it. Oh, thank you. It was a TV antenna. Yeah, like, you can see just something. It sounds easy. I even said, "Oh, this should be much easier." Like the trees already react to wind, and then now everything's just behaving really bizarrely. Right, if we go back into the game now and do the same thing again, do the trees stop reacting? Because as far as I could tell, I changed the material properties and set everything to 0, so nothing should be reacting to the wind. Next, let's go. Is anything reacting to the car driving towards it? Yeah, it shouldn't. It's like it's memorized some stuff. Even though I've done like a git reset, it's like memorizing things which shouldn't be in the game. Oh, I'm wondering something. Is it saved in the terrain data somewhere? Did we get? Has it always done this, or has this just started happening now? So he wants to load up the game and try it. I've never noticed this before now. So which tile am I in? Right, why does it keep coming up with that stupid thing to paint? I don't want to paint stuff. I want to select this forest tile. Okay. Straight forest. Prefab baked poplar. No. This shouldn't react to flow elements anymore. Look, it's disabled. See, the whole vegetation thing is now I can't really write my own vegetation engine. That's like a whole project in itself. Here comes the tornado. So everything's reacting, just not in a way that I'm happy with. Like, it just looks crap. Like, I'm not going to publish an update where things are reacting like this. I wonder if there's anything in my git ignore. Huh. Oh, material manager. Visual engine manager is missing from your scene. That shouldn't really matter. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. This is branch. Poplar leaves. There it is. Okay, it's got saved on this material. Okay, that was right. That was a sneaky sneak. Right. Okay. I really need a snack. One sec. I need a snack and a drink. Let me just put a note on here. Be right back. Getting snacks and a drink. Sorry, I'll be a minute. I'm back. Like hamburgers. Oh, burgers are my favorite thing. I actually just had Five Guys burger yesterday for tea. Got a double bacon cheeseburger. What else? I had like everything, like hot sauce, jalapenos, and barbecue sauce, mayo, grilled onions, raw onions, just everything. All right, we need to go back to that terrain operations. Now we know how to test it properly. Right, we'll make this bigger. Drag the pop line here. Now it shouldn't react. Yeah, now we know what we need to actually change. So if we go into prefab mode. Now, 1 second. I'm getting a phone call off my wife now. 1 sec. Hello. Yeah, I'm just on a stream doing some live dev stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. No worries. Bye. Okay, sorry. I'm back again. Right. What we're trying to do is open the actual prefab. You go here, here, and then the settings were actually hidden on here, the poplar leaves and the branch poplar. So what you do here is Unity, by default, whatever you click on, it will open the properties for that. So by me right clicking in properties, it means I can keep both of these open. Unfortunately, I can't see the chat just now, but I can adjust things and see how it responds to it. So do we need to use flow elements for this? It's the first question. So I'm going to adjust the leaves first. Yes, it looks like we do have to use flow elements, but I don't want it to react to interaction. So I'm going to turn the interaction right down. Because it's not interaction I want to react to, it's the... Oh, is it? See, it's difficult. Primary intensity. It's the interaction, but the question is, how do I make it interact? How do I make it interact without being... How do I make it react to the wind and not react to the truck driving towards it? Because those are two different those are two different elements. I don't want it to react to that one. So do need to use flow elements. And we do need to increase the primary intensity. I'll set that to something like 1. So that way... Oh, now it's just permanently reacting to it. Motion secondary interaction. Primary interaction is set to 1. Secondary interaction, let's also set that to 1. We only want it to react when the actual wind thing moves over it. So it's not really reacting that much there. And then what we can do is make is match the settings on the left-hand side as well. You won't be able to see it because it's on my laptop screen, but I can make the branch use flow elements and then try and match it. So motion intensity is 1, motion details limit 100, power intensity 0.05, 0, 0.5, 0.8, 0, 5, 5, 1. And second, we just got to match these so that they respond the exact same way. Okay, so now, at least now, the leaves and the trunk move together. So that's good, that's what you want. They're just not reacting, to my eyes, not what I expect for extreme winds. So is there some other slider I need to bump up to? I need to bump up primary intensity up to like 0.2. Oh, have I still got the screenshots open from before? Here we go, I've got the screenshots open. 1, 100. No, still 0.05, 0, 0.5. I don't know what the pivots thing does. It'd be helpful if there's an explanation for what these actually were. 5.1. Unless I undo the changes and we get the one that worked earlier. 1, 100. Motion second intensity 0.2, 0.5, 0.2, 0.551. Which was the one which was set to like 3.69? Was that the interaction? Maybe it is the interaction which needs to be stronger. Ah, yeah, it is the interaction which needs to be stronger. Well, we've set this one to like, we've set them both to primary to 2.5. This is 2.5. Maybe do the secondary as well. There we go. The secondary one seems to make a much bigger difference. Okay, we can figure out how to fix the trees reacting to the truck later. Because, yeah, it's definitely flow elements that we want. See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot these settings now. Because we need to see if the other trees also use the same materials or not. So I guess the easiest way to find out is paste in, what was the name of it again? Poplar, and then we'll do 2. This one react as well? Yeah. And what about 3? So the trunk's not reacting as much for 3. So it must have a different material on it. This is a trunk O3. Right, we're going to use flow elements. We're going to go, right, I'll put this on the second screen. So motion intensity, 1, 100, 0.05, 0, 0.5, 0.8, 0, 5, 2.5. 0.2, 0, 0.5, 0.2, 0, 5, 2.5. Let's just go back. There we go. Now it's moving with the tree. Right, let's just save that scene in case we need to come back to it. Okay, the other thing, I've been having a little think while I was having some snacks. be right back. I'll help you with groceries. Yeah, go do that. Parents do a lot for the children. I'm learning that a lot as a parent myself. Not that I didn't already appreciate what my parents did, but yeah, there's a difference between understanding it and then actually experiencing it. So yeah, parents really appreciate when you're able to help out. Right. Next thing. So we've got that for now. I think I'll fix the truck driving towards the forest, making stuff bend thing later because the stream's already going on quite a while. Let's do that other thing. So, can you change the chemicals count? So instead of incrementing by one each sample, it increments by one if it's an F1 sample, two if it's F2 or F3, and three if it's F4 or F5. I think having it increment by five each one is just gonna run away too quickly. Ask if anything is unclear or ambiguous. So we'll get that fixed, and then I think we'll do another build. Or maybe I could ask it to separate between the the one on the truck and the tornado wind. Maybe we'll have a look at that next to see if there's a simple, quick fix for that. It's actually a meal I've made quite a few times. Speaking of hamburgers, cheeseburger dirty rice. It's essentially a rice, but you mix in like mince, uh, like chopped up gherkins, um, add a bunch of spices like smoked paprika, cumin. Uh, then you got like powdered onion, powdered garlic, Worcestershire sauce, tomato puree, um, beef stock. It's a really nice recipe. Then I'll whip up a sauce out of mayonnaise, rice vinegar, ketchup, and smoked paprika. It's a really nice meal. Let's let it run the test. Okay, let me just do a quick commit with these. What I'll do is I'll trigger a build. So yeah, that'll start rebuilding. Not a build, I guess, compile. Um, I guess incremental chemical progress or something like that. Now the next one. I've added, or I've enabled flow interaction on, let's see. Let's just choose one for example. What was it called? Was it called flow interaction? Flow elements. Use flow elements on this. I'll put it back so you can see what I'm typing. Which gets the trees reacting to the wind, which is good, but they also bend when the truck floor element interacts with the trees. Are there any simple fixes or workarounds for this? It's fine if not. Yes, tail clouds will be added. Um, Not yet though. Maybe in a couple of weeks. I apologize for my crunching. I'm just eating a biscuit. Okay, it's looking for the least invasive separation point. That's helpful if there is one. It's actually reading through the PDF file. So AI is getting clever. Sometimes as well, it can do stupid things as well. Like the issues I was having with the screenshot, when I was trying to screenshot the game and the game kept minimizing, it's because when I added the windowed mode, so you've got the full screen, you got the full screen mode and the windowed mode, without asking or telling me anything, when it added the windowed mode, which is fine, that's what I wanted to do, it also looked at full screen mode and thought, oh no, I'll make that exclusive full screen mode and just changed it without telling me. So the thing that annoys me with AI coding is when it takes things upon itself without prompting or asking. Like there's been cases where it suggested something and the suggestion hasn't been very good, so I've just ignored it, not acknowledged it, and it's just gone and implemented that suggestion anyway, without me explicitly saying, yes, please go and add that or change that. And it's a simple TV flow layer split should solve it. The truck flow element and tornado wind flow element are both currently on default, and the popular material samples default. Configure them like this. Truck flow element, render layer default only. Tornado wind flow element, render layer default plus layer 1. How do I do that? Okay, we might as well fix this while we've got the chance. Tornado wind flow element, render layer default plus layer 1. So let's look at, so this will be on tornado volume. Yeah, let's open this. Wind element, so the render layer. So this is the tornado wind. Where do I set the additional render layer? Oh, is it in the shader somewhere? Ah, here we go, render layer. I found it. Default plus layer 1. There we go. Then go to each of those which were changed. So we got M branch poplar. We had a few others as well. Might be easier actually to go to. Okay. Global flow layer. Ah, there we go. Global flow layer. Okay. Just layer 1. Okay, but what I'll do, let's go to each of these poplar things that we're using. Go here. Right, then we'll go here. Then we need to go there. Poplar leaves and M branch is the one above it. So global flow layer, again, layer 1. Branch, layer 1. Leaves, Leaves is layer 1. Branch is layer 1. Okay, then I think the only other one was the baked 3. Poplar leaves. Global floor layer, yeah. And then it had a different trunk. There we go. Global floor layer, layer 1. Okay, that might have fixed that so the trees shouldn't bend but still react to the wind. Tornado wind element. That's because I haven't actually changed. This is not the one that's part of the volume prefab. Yeah, because it's not the same one that's on the tornado volume itself. Where did I change it again? Shader, render layer, and that's wait. Shouldn't that be in default plus layer 1? Did I not save that? So now if I change this to match, is that the one it said? It was the tornado one it said to change. Yeah, default plus layer 1. So if I just do that as a test, plus layer 1, yeah, and it's instantly reacting. Okay, right, everything should be ready to test now, I think. Right, I think we figured it out. Let's just do a build and we'll try it out. I'm back, what did you miss? I figured out what was wrong with the tree rendering, figured out how to make the trees react to the wind without the trees bending whenever the truck drove near them. That's why I added your idea of making stronger tornadoes release more chemicals, but rather than do F1 releases like increments the chemicals by 1 and F5 increments it by 5, I've kind of grouped them together. So F1 will increment it by 1, F2 and F3 will increment it by 2, and F4 and F5 will increment it by 3. I just think chemicals going up by like 5, potentially every tenth of a second, would take a game mechanic that already creates chaos and insanity and make probably the game unstable if it reacted that quickly. But I think 1, 2, and 3 is a nice middle ground. Right, so I'm just building the game now. Then I'll have to quickly quit it and then launch it through my developer shortcut. And then we can do some testing and then hopefully I'll be able to push this update in the next half an hour or so. To watch Godzilla. I've never watched Godzilla. Sorry, I know that message was sent a while back. Been concentrating hard. You can see I spend all day programming and debugging stuff, and then in my free time in the night, I then program and debug things. So you can see it gets tiring and it requires a lot of concentration. So I do apologize. I do miss things sometimes. But yeah, watch Godzilla. I've never watched it. I still haven't seen Avatar either, or The Shawshank Redemption. The reason for not watching Shawshank Redemption is that it's like I think on like the top rated, if not the top rated movie of all time on IMDb. I feel like it has to be like a special occasion to watch a movie that's rated so highly. Okay, it's built. See what's the background today? Some sort of lighthouse. Right, that's launched. Then I'll just launch it with my shortcut. Right, so we've got a few things to test. I reckon if we just do career mode with the chemicals, we will at some point come across forests anyway, and then we can test it that way. 1 second, I've managed to get my headset cable wrapped around my controller cable. 1 sec. Yeah. No, I think let's do a more intense. It's top 50, top 82, top 84. Wow, we're having some terrible luck here. Top 17, there we go. Eastern side of the map seems to have the biggest potential. There we go. Maybe I need to add a rotation option to the spawning, just so that you don't have to do like a 3-point turn if you spawn on top of an overpass. Okay, turn in the road, that might be a maneuver you get asked to do on a driving test. In America, the driving test, at least in Nevada, the driving test was a lot easier than in the UK. Have you seen Interstellar? Yes, I have watched Interstellar. I really liked that. So I think instead of wind, we'll do pressure this time. Try and make a big tornado. That last tornado responded to wind and pressure very quickly. That was a very responsive tornado to the chemicals. Right, let's get velocity on. Nothing yet. Let's just go somewhere where the road network gives us some options. Is this the wall cloud here? Is it appearing here? I'm imagining it. Like that guy from Take Shelter. Or Take Cover or something. Yeah, Interstellar was good. I really liked the whole mapping of like time and other dimensions into like spatial dimensions that he was familiar with. Because I guess the alien, if I remember right, it was like aliens or some other sort of consciousness that they were interacting with, like wasn't bound by time the same way we are, so it created that space for them. So you could navigate time but in 3D space. I just thought it was really cool. My favourite mind-bending movie is Primer. It was a low-budget movie. I think it was like $5,000 production budget or something like that. Maybe bigger than that. I may be misremembering that. But even the director acted in it himself. And you have something like 17 different simultaneous timelines because it's all about time travel. But then you've got like people taking time machines inside of time machines and setting up alternate timelines, and you don't find out about them till near the end. It's extremely confusing. Is it moving towards us or away from us? Looks like it's sitting almost stationary. Maybe slightly north? Let's just make a wild guess. Not a wild guess, a somewhat educated guess. And just go a little bit further north just so we're staying ahead of this thing. We need to have a good east option. Because even if it is just heading north, we need an east option to get in front of it. And if it's heading northeast, then we definitely need a northeast option. Also, Interstellar has something interesting in common with Twister, and that's driving through a cornfield. That's an ominous wall cloud. I need to get out on the plains and see these things for real. Oh, we've got some trees coming up here, so let's just drive past them. And just check that they don't bend when we drive past them. But hopefully the tornado's close enough that we can check that actually are responding to the wind. Let's check. So the grass and everything still responds, but let's make sure these don't bend and curve around when we drive towards them. Perfect. Now we just need to make sure that they actually respond to the wind. Are they even moving at all? I just thought they may be different tree prefabs from what I've placed in the forest. Oh, the tornado's touching down. Have I missed the tornado? Oh, the funnel's coming. So according to the map, so if we zoom in there, it's a tiny amount of tornado on the ground, but the funnel's still touching down. But it's moving towards the forested areas, so that's useful for testing. Yeah, it's like 3 miles per hour. Yeah. If you look at the grass as well, as the grass isn't even really moving either. Let's just drive towards them. We don't want to see any leaves bending, any of that nonsense. Yeah, no. So the other question is, have I somehow ended up disabling them interacting with the wind altogether? Well, it looks like that tornado's heading towards that forest there, so let's just go off-road a bit, try and race it there, and hopefully the vegetation doesn't stop. Oh, there it is. I think I'm already picking up a bit of a roaring sound coming from it. It's touching down, and it's already F3, it hasn't even touched down yet. Okay, I'm starting to see some wobbling in the trees. A little bit there. Let's drive more towards the wind field. The wind field is quite narrow and is moving just south of the trees. Oh, house is going flying there. Where is the tornado? I can't see it. Is it lifted? We've got a jumper. To be fair, that wind field at ground level is very narrow. Tell that to the wind turbine. Okay, I think we need to head north. We'll go back through the forest. Let's try and catch it. Hopefully it gets close to this forest and we can test it there. I don't think we've got any data just yet. No, no data yet. You're still allowed to be added to the game. Oh yeah, sorry, I must have commented on that while you were away. Yes, I'm going to try and add them in the next couple of weeks. Guess we'd better look out for towns as well. Are there any towns in danger? No, at least not in the direction it's currently going. Looks like it's going to go right through this forest though, so that's going to be perfect for testing. Come on, can it please intensify a bit? So there's a lot of cape and a lot of helicity, so it must just be cycling. So the trees are wobbling a bit in the wind, but not as much as I'd like, but of course there wouldn't be, considering that the tornado is like a 1 meter wide F0. It's going to pass to our south. Let's try and get the probe in there. So the grass is reacting a lot, the trees not so much by the looks of it. So we're like right in the middle of the they're looking right up at the funnel there. Oh, we're going to get picked up. Actually, I better keep my distance. Yeah, we're expecting those trees to be reacting a lot more to that wind. Hello. Okay, tornado size is increasing 26%. We'll just release more chemicals. So stop to check out the trees again. I missed something here. Oh yeah, we can watch the data. Is it going? What's it going up in? Yeah, it's going up in increments of 2 right now. So yeah, talk about a fast feedback loop. Whoa, this is really responding to tornado-sized chemicals. Up to 0.4 of a mile. And the vegetation's very inconveniently decided to stop rendering. So now we can't even see what the trees respond like. Looks like it's lifting momentarily. So I think we are going to have to go back into the editor and figure out why the trees aren't responding to the wind field. Because those things should be really shaking all over the place, given how wide the wind field will be right now. Yeah, I need to fix that. Yeah, it is annoying having the UI pop up when you're in front of the truck door. I need to figure out how to position the colliders around that. 798, 99, we've got next chemicals. Plus 32% to size. If I go a little bit closer, we can get into that F2 wind field. It'll count up in 2s instead of 1s. It looks like it's dying out. I think what I'll do is I'll analyze the data quickly. $920 earned. Great. I want to fix this issue with the trees not responding to the wind. Let's test it in the editor. So we've still got this tornado wind element. Oh yeah, gotta put the scene view on. Oh yeah, suddenly they're not really responding anymore. Go there. So we are using the mask. So global flow layer is layer 1. The wind element should... okay, wind element, default, and layer 1. There we go. That seems to keep getting forgotten for some reason. I wonder if that's what's happened on the tornado volume. Let's have a check. Tornado wind element. Right, yeah, it keeps forgetting. It keeps dropping that. How do I save that? When using a higher layer number, the global volume will create more render textures to render fewer layers. Well, let's just keep layer and layer 1. Do I need to click this save element material? I hate when you do stuff like this, because now it's just another thing to keep track of. This takes the opportunity to figure out. I've spent hours on trying to find out why the vegetation randomly stops and not got anywhere, so I'm not going to do it in the last few minutes of the stream. I might have to play with the keyboard here quickly to test. Put the forest in the middle. Just bang these to the top. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's make sure they still don't react when we drive towards them. Definitely don't want that happening. Okay, they do already seem to be responding to the wind more than they were before. Okay, good. They're not responding to the truck. That's what we want. Now we just need to make sure they respond to the tornado. Well, added a lot of motorways. Right, velocity. Okay, there's something to our south. But since it spawned there, it should be heading towards us. And we should have a hunt pretty soon. So I said it between, what, 1 and 3 minutes? But it looks like it's coming this way already. Come on, drop something. Just make like a random useless feature, let you climb trees to get a better view. I was thinking it'd be cool to add some non-conventional vehicles to this, like a bicycle or a horse. Things where horses get spooked by just like random things, like a plastic bag that's been left on the road. So who knows how a horse would handle being in the path of a tornado. Okay, come on, I want to see these trees shaking and dancing. I've seen trees getting uprooted. Forgot about the wind speed chemicals. Yeah, no, these trees still aren't reacting. I hate this this whole vegetation system and vegetation render surface is crap. You can see how long we've spent just to do something simple like get it reacting to wind. And it's still not even doing it. Maybe I need to get it working in the editor first. Let's figure out why it's not working in the editor. Customize your chase. This as well, we could go to tornado volume. Yeah, see, the render layer's defaulted back again. Even though, didn't I create... Right. Didn't I save a custom material? It was called like my mat. Right, save element material. What did it my element.mat. So I'll call this tornado wind element mat.mat. So that it saves it, but then it just keeps defaulting back. So if I close out of it, open tornado volume again, it'll probably have defaulted back again. Oh, do you know why? I haven't assigned it there. That's where I need to assign it, man. Tornado wind element mat TVE. But it still forgot it though. It still keeps dropping the render layer. Do I have to set it to just layer 1? Which means it's then going to stop affecting the grass. It needs to be default and layer 1. I've set it default and layer 1. Let's go back. Open tornado volume again. Go back to it. Still got tornado wind element. Yeah, it's remembered them now. Okay. Right. If I do a build, right. You know what they say? You know what the common saying is about attempting something? Somewhere between the 8th and 12th attempt is the charm. So you can see with how long we've spent on this, something like, I'll just make the trees react to wind sounds like a 5-minute job, and we've spent an hour on it, and still I'm not even sure if it's working right. Right, set the map 5Ks by 5Ks. Let's just do this so we can guarantee there's some forest around us. Bang, 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 bang. Let's remembered all the settings from last time. Right, again. Drive towards them. This is where it'll start reacting to the wind, but then do that weird loopy round thing when we drive towards them. No, not doing that. Okay. We just need to wait on a tornado now. I'm tired. It's 10:45 PM where I'm at right now, and I've been really tired all day anyway. What you say? Hmm? Ah. Is it coming this way? Should be. Just realise the reticle's not being hidden, but that's not a massive issue. The velocity does intensify right before the tornado touches down. Here we go. Right, are the trees finally going to react to the tornado winds? So we take a look at the grass. The amount the trees should react to the wind is the same amount as the grass should be. Oh, the game's really lagging hard now. I just thought it's gonna have to calculate like you have to calculate the motion on like a few thousand trees for each forest tile. Yeah, trees still don't seem to be doing anything. I think the trees are leaning a little bit, but yeah, it's still not reacting the way I wanted. I think I need to do a complete overhaul of the vegetation system in the game because the assets I've got just aren't very good. You see how long I've spent with them and how unintuitive they've been and how disappointing the results have been. These aren't cheap assets either, so it's just a bit annoying. Spend an hour to essentially accomplish nothing with the trees reacting to the wind. Okay, I think having the wind chemicals constantly releasing isn't helping things. So I think we need to test it in the editor because I don't know why it's not working. It's probably defaulted something back again. Oh, I still got default in layer 1. Oh no, it's not your fault, Real Smith. It's a good suggestion, and I like the idea of it. It's these vegetation and environment assets for Unity which just aren't very intuitive and not very easy to use. It's a good idea, and I do want to get it working. It's just the assets available to do it aren't particularly good. I just realised I've got this set to free aspect. That should be 92010. I thought it looked a bit weird. Right, so at least now what I can do is go here, go to tornado volume because there should already be one. Go to tornado wind element and check. Yeah, layer 1. So now I know that's fixed, I should probably check that the tree prefabs that we're looking at also have the mask set properly. No, I don't want to exit prefab mode. So then we've got the global flow layer. Yes, layer 1. Okay, we just need the tornado to touch down. One thing I could do as well, I could duplicate this. Let's put it to top level. There is a tornado wind element. Right. Make it 500 by 500. Where is it? Tornado wind element. Oh, look, the trees are reacting to it. Look, underneath. Where am I? Player truck. So I say game object. Move to view. Yeah, so so this one is impacting the trees here. So this one is. So why is the other one not? Because this should be getting scaled up as the tornado intensifies. Let's see. Let's have a look at velocity radar, see what's going on. Alright. Tornado wind element. Yeah, it is getting scaled up. Oh, looks like the. So they are in the editor. Somewhat. So the trees should be reacting to it. They're just not reacting very strongly. These values need to be bigger, like 4. Oh, so the vertex as well. Does this need to be like vertex G or something? I think I'd just be expecting a bit more motion in the trees than this. Well, I think I'm gonna have to pause the update for tonight. Because I'm exhausted now and I'm just starting to get frustrated at this crappy rendering engine. Um, so yeah, I'll pause it tonight. I'll try and fix it maybe in the morning, maybe tomorrow night, and then I'll push the update then. But yeah, I'm not happy with the state of it right now to release as an update. Uh, so we'll hope we have that fixed by tomorrow. Yeah, but thank you everybody so much for joining the stream. I know it's been a lot more frustration and chasing our tails, not really getting anything done, than actually playing. But some days are just like that. So I'm going to sign out now, and you all have a brilliant rest of your day.